Welcome. In this series, we're going to build a products management app from scratch using Laravel on the back end and React on the front end. We will be able to add products with a name, description, price, and stock quantity. We will be able to edit them, delete them, and see them in a paginated table. This is a simple project, on purpose. The goal of this series is to teach you the foundation patterns that every Laravel and React project is built on. Once you understand these, you can build anything. This series is for absolute beginners. If you have never used Laravel or React before, this is the right place to start. We will explain every concept as we write it. Laravel is a PHP framework. A framework is a collection of tools and conventions that make building web applications faster. Laravel handles things like routing, database queries, user authentication, and form validation. You write the logic for your specific app. Laravel handles the plumbing. When a user visits your website, their browser sends a request to your server. Laravel receives that request, runs your code, talks to the database if needed, and sends back a response. That response might be a web page, some data, or a redirect to another page. Laravel uses PHP. PHP runs on the server, not in the browser. The user never sees your PHP code. They only see what Laravel sends back to them. React is a JavaScript library for building user interfaces. It runs in the browser, not on the server. React is what makes pages feel fast and interactive. Things like opening a dialog, updating a form, or showing a toast notification without reloading the whole page. In React, you build your UI out of components. A component is a reusable piece of UI, like a button, a form, or a table row. You write components once and use them anywhere. React uses a language called JSX, a mix of JavaScript and HTML-like syntax. Instead of writing a separate HTML file and a separate JavaScript file, you write both together in one component file. Now, how do Laravel and React talk to each other? The traditional approach is to build a separate REST API. Laravel sends JSON. React fetches it with something like Axios. This works, but it means maintaining two separate projects, writing authentication twice, and dealing with a lot of extra complexity. Inertia.js solves this. It sits between Laravel and React and acts as a bridge. Laravel still controls the routing and handles data. React still renders the UI. But with Inertia, Laravel can pass data directly to a React component as props, like handing something from one person to another. No JSON API, no CORS, no separate authentication. From Laravel's side, it works like a normal web app. You return an Inertia render call from your controller instead of returning a view. From React's side, it receives props just like any component. The magic is in the middle. When a user clicks a link, Inertia intercepts the navigation, makes a request to the server in the background, and updates just the part of the page that changed, without a full browser reload. It feels like a single-page app, but is driven by Laravel. Tailwind CSS is how we style everything. Instead of writing a separate CSS file, you apply short utility class names directly in your HTML and JSX, like rounded XL for rounded corners, VG card for the card background color, or text muted foreground for gray text. We're using Tailwind version 4, which is the latest. Once you know the pattern, styling goes very fast. We will use Laravel Herd to run the project locally. Herd is a desktop application for Windows and Mac that bundles PHP, Nginx, Composer, and a Laravel installer all in one. No separate installations needed. It also automatically serves every project in your Herd folder at a .test domain, so you never need to run PHP artisan serve again. If you do not have Herd yet, download it from herd.laravel.com, run the installer, and let it finish. Once it is running, you will see the Herd icon in your taskbar on Windows or your menu bar on Mac. Click the Herd icon to open the menu, then click Sites. This opens the Site Manager window. On the left side of the Site Manager, you will see a list of all your sites. To create a new one, click the plus icon at the top of that list. A site wizard appears. Click Create Laravel Application. Herd will now walk you through the setup. This is the same interactive installer you may have seen on the command line, but it runs right here inside the UI. Give the project the name Product Hub. When the wizard asks which starter kit to use, choose React with Inertia. SQLite stores your entire database in a single file with no separate database server to install, which is perfect for learning. Herd creates the project inside your Herd sites directory and immediately starts serving it. You will see producthub.test appear in the sites list. Click that link to open it in your browser. You should see the Laravel Starter Kit welcome page. Click Register to create your account. You will need to be logged in to use the product section we are building. Fill the form with the user details so we can create an account that we're going to use to log in with. One last step. Herd handles PHP and Nginx for you, but your React and CSS files still need to be compiled. Open a terminal inside the project folder. You can do this quickly by clicking the terminal shortcut icon in the Herd Site Actions panel on the right and run these two commands. Leave this running in the background. Every time you save a React or CSS file, Vite will recompile it, and the browser will update automatically. Before we start writing code, let me show you which folders matter. Open the project into your favorite text editor, of which I will use VS Code for now. app/http controllers. This is where your PHP controller files live. Controllers receive requests and return responses. app/models. This is where your Eloquent model files live. Models represent your database tables. Database/migrations. This is where your migration files live. Migrations define the structure of your database tables. Routes/web.php. This single file defines every URL your application responds to. Resources/JS. This is where all your React code lives. Pages are in resources/JS/pages. Reusable components are in resources/JS/components. That is all you need to know. Let's start building. You now understand what each piece of the stack does and why they work together. In the next part, we create the products database table using a migration and write the Eloquent model that lets us interact with it. In part 1, we set up the project. Now we create the products database table. In Laravel, we do this with a migration, a PHP file that describes the table structure. We will also create a model, the PHP class that lets us read and write data to that table from our code. A migration is a version control description of our database structure. Instead of opening a database tool and writing SQL by hand, you write a PHP file that says create a table with these columns. Laravel runs that file and creates the table for you. The big benefit is that migrations live in your code repository alongside your PHP and JavaScript files. When another developer clones your project and runs PHP Artisan Migrate, they get the exact same database structure as you. No manual setup. No. Did you create the products table? Confusion. Migrations also have a down method, the reverse of up. If you need to undo a migration, running PHP Artisan Migrate. Rollback runs the down method, which can drop the table. This makes it safe to experiment. Herd handles the web server, but Artisan commands still run in your terminal. Make sure your terminal is inside the project folder. Then run this command. This will create the model class and its migration file. The -m tells Laravel to create the model class and its corresponding migration file automatically. Laravel reads the name and pre-fills the schema. Create call for you. Open the new file in database/migrations. The timestamp in the file name is how Laravel knows what order to run migrations in. You will see an up method and a down method. The up method already has schema, create, products inside it because Laravel read the word create in our migration name. We just need to fill in the columns. Replace the contents of the schema. Create callback with our column definitions. Let me explain every single line. $table-id. This creates an auto-incrementing integer column called ID. Every table gets one. Laravel uses this to identify each row uniquely. $table-string name. This creates a varchar column that stores text up to 255 characters. Perfect for short fields like a product name. $table-text description -nullable. Text stores longer text without a length limit. The -nullable method means this column is allowed to be empty. Some products might not have a description. Without nullable, the database would refuse to insert a row without a description. $table-decimal price 10 2. Decimal stores exact numbers with decimal places. The first number, 10, is the total number of digits allowed. The second number, 2, is how many of those digits come after the decimal point. So we can store prices up to 99,999,999.99. We use decimal instead of float for money because float has rounding errors. Decimal is exact. $table- and signed integer, stock, -default, 0. And signed integer stores whole numbers that cannot be negative. Stock can never be -3. The -default, 0, means if we do not provide a stock value when creating a product, it starts at 0 automatically. $table-boolean is underscore active. -default, true. Boolean stores true or false. In the database, this is stored as 1 or 0. Default true means new products are active by default. $table- timestamps. This adds 2 columns, created _at and updated _at. Laravel fills these in automatically whenever you create or update a record. Very useful for knowing when things happened. Now run the migration in your terminal. Laravel runs every migration that has not been run yet. You will see it create the products table. Open Herd's database viewer or any SQLite tool, and you can see the new table with all the columns we defined. In Laravel Herd, we have the tool called AdMiner. This will help you to view your SQLite database through UI on your browser. So just open it and log in inside your database. This is the new table structure that we defined using the migration file, and Laravel has created the table automatically. An Eloquent model is a PHP class that represents a database table. The product model represents the products table. When you want to create a product, you use the product class. When you want to find a product, you use the product class. It is your PHP interface to that table. Eloquent, Laravel's ORM, uses naming conventions. A model named product automatically maps to a table named products. A model named blog post maps to blog_posts. Plural, snake_case. You can override this if needed, but the convention means you usually do not have to. Open the generated model. It is almost empty. Now here is where Laravel 13 introduces something important, PHP Attributes. This is the modern way to configure your model, and it is the syntax you will see going forward. In older versions of Laravel, you would add protected arrays inside the class body, protected fiable, protected casts, and so on. Laravel 13 still supports that, but the new recommended approach is to move that configuration above the class definition using PHP 8 native attributes. They use the hash bracket syntax. Let me walk through each piece. The hashtag, feable line above the class, is a PHP attribute. It does exactly the same job as the old protected feable array. It tells Laravel which fields are allowed to be set in bulk. The difference is it sits above the class definition. So when you open this file, your class body is clean and focused purely on behavior. Why does feable matter? Laravel protects you against mass assignment attacks. Without it, if you call product, create and pass a raw request body, an attacker could inject extra fields, like an admin flag, and get them saved to the database. Feable is your whitelist. Any field not in that list is ignored, even if it arrives in the request. Now the cast method. Since Laravel 11, cast is a protected method that returns an array, not a property. This is actually the preferred syntax now because a method lets you call static helpers on cast classes, which you cannot do on a plain array property. The Boolean cast on Inertia.js tells Eloquent to convert the database integer, 1 or 0, to a proper PHP true or false. When Inertia serializes the model to JSON for the React frontend, it becomes a proper JSON true or false, not the number 1 or 0. That makes working with it in TypeScript far cleaner. The decimal, to cast on price, is more precise than a plain float. It tells Eloquent to treat price as a decimal with 2 places, so it arrives in your React component as the string 29.99, which is exactly what you want for monetary values. Using a raw float risks floating point precision errors. Decimal keeps it clean. One important thing to know, the PHP attribute syntax and the old property syntax are not breaking changes. They both work. If you're on an older project using protected feable as a property, it continues to work in Laravel 13. The hashtag, feable, attribute is the new recommended style, not a forced replacement. Adopt it in new code and migrate when it makes sense. The database table is created and the model is ready with modern Laravel 13 syntax. In the next episode, we build the controller, the PHP class that handles incoming requests, and the routes that map URLs to those controller methods. See you in episode 2.